harder for me than it is going to be for you, I tell you that. The first thing is, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, family and friends who've travelled far and wide to be here today. As father of the bride, I have pleasure of making the first speech. For those of you who don't know me, I am Peter, Julia's father, and on behalf of my wife Jane, I would like to welcome you all here today to celebrate the marriage of our daughter Julia to Scott. I would like to welcome Scott's parents, Lee and Rob. Yeah. Yes, cheer wouldn't go amiss there. Thank you for coming to help celebrate this very special day. And as I look around the room, I realise how many friends Scott and Tilly, in case you wonder who Tilly is, it's Julia. Tilly was a name we've had since Adam was a lad. And I hope, more than anything else, you have a wonderful afternoon and evening. I did ask for an autocue for my speech today, as I have the memory like a geriatric goldfish. But I was told the budget had been stretched to capacity, and any extra would have to be paid for by myself. I suddenly realised that this piece of paper is worth a bloody fortune. I have given lots and lots of thoughts. No, I'll start again. I have been given lots and lots of advice on what to or what not to say. To keep it short, no smutty jokes. Try and remember names, but there's something else I've forgotten what it was. However, it's 35 years since I was allowed to say anything without being disagreed with, laughed at, ignored, so this is a good opportunity not to miss. At the end of the day, it's my speech, and I can say what. Today, I must admit that I am the proudest dad in the world to have accompanied Tilly today. I think she looked absolutely stunning, as do the bridesmaids and flower girls. Well done. This is where I'm supposed to say a few embarrassing things about her when she was younger, but she probably knows more gossip about me than I know. So we called it a truce. But there again, here goes. When Julia was born, I was present at the birth. And Jane was lying on the delivery table with her legs akimbo, like all you ladies know about these things. She had to have a couple of stitches in. As she was waiting to be stitched up, so to speak, the doors opened and this guy came in. He was as black as pitch. He looked absolutely stunning in his white uniform that they have, right down to his white clogs. And he sat down on the table in front of Jane, and as he busied himself, he said, "You had a baby?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've had a lovely baby girl." "Oh, that's okay," he said. "What you going to call her?" I said, "I'm going to call her Julia. She was born on my birthday." "What? Born on your birthday?" "Man," he said, "we know how to do it." Jane was sat there with her legs akimbo, and this old guy, he was going around, he was absolutely stunning. He was built like a bull. I was going to say, as he busied himself with Jane, who's a couple of inches away, and I thought, if I see your tongue come out now, there's going to be... As time progressed, Julie was born with what they call a clicky hip. For all you ladies who don't know what a clicky hip is, I'll do this way. The ball doesn't fit in the socket, and the legs, it clicks out. Anyway, to cut a long story short, she was dressed in what they call a plastic nappy, which was obviously like to keep her legs apart. Anyway, this plastic nappy was held to force the legs apart, and she was born in the spring, summertime, and we used to take her out in the pram with her legs. People used to come up and say, "Oh, whatever's the matter with your daughter?" I said, "Well, she was born with a clicky hip, and these are to help her, to put it back together again." So righto, that carried on, and in the summertime she was born with what?
Wasn't born again.
Well, you said you were a Christian. What they call a harness, which puts her legs. And all the time that she was like this, people would come up and say, "Oh, what a gorgeous baby. Whatever's the matter with her, she's got a clicky here." And this went on for months and months. And in the end, I was getting a bit... Anyway, a mate of mine who shall be... Well, I can name him now because he's not coming. His name was Mitch Roberts. Poor old Mitch, he came up to me one day as I was pushing Jules. He said, "Whatever's the matter with Jules?" I said, "Mitch, she's got a clicky hip." I said, "Well," he said, "Well, what's that?" I said, "Well, when she was born, her right leg was where her left leg should be. So they cut her legs off and stitched them back together again." Bloody hell, he said, "The things they can do with..." That was forgotten for about a couple of weeks. Then all of a sudden I was having a drink in the Foxer Base and the door burst open and all I heard was, "You bastard." And I said, "Mitch, he's twigged on up." Anyway, those are the most embarrassing things I can think of.
That's right.
There are two things which we as parents try to give our children. One is roots, the other is wings. Tilly, you have grown your wings and fled the nest, but you will still be loved always and still have roots within your family. Scott and Tilly, you do not need my advice. The only thing I would say to you, you must choose the right partner for the right reasons. And I think that they have both done this. I suppose that after 35 years of marriage, I ought to be able to say something a bit more constructive. Scott, just remember these three words: all, just, and only. You will hear them time and time again, such as "you need to do it. It only costs so much. It will only take 5 minutes."
That was none.
These are gross understatements, but as a great philosopher or comedian said, women are to be loved and not understood. Mind you, helping around the house is not a bad idea. I know from crime statistics that there has never been a case of a wife shooting at her husband while he's doing the washing up. Finally, I would like you all to join me in a toast of here's to the past for all you've learned. Here's to the present for all that you share. Here's to the future for all your plans together. And here is to love, laughter, and happy ever after. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the toast, the bride and groom. It's Mr. and Mrs. Bishop.